Hello, my name is Maisha Awal, and I am the 2017 Nsliy alumni representative for the Washington, D.C. Mid-Atlantic region. I am from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I am a rising sophomore at Georgetown University studying biochemistry. I went to Dushanbe, Tajikistan to study Persian, or the Tajiki dialect, in the summer of 2016. I chose Nsliy because I really love learning about different languages and cultures, and I specifically chose Tajiki because it seemed like a good mix of two cultures, because I initially wanted to study Arabic, but I wanted to try something different because I already knew how to read and write Arabic, but I didn't know how to understand it. And Tajiki has some Arabic cognates, and so I could, by learning Tajiki, I could learn a little more Arabic. And it also uses the Cyrillic alphabet, and I thought that was really neat how there was a Soviet Union influence. And so I thought it was that would be really interesting to learn Tajiki. And one funny moment in Tajikistan was that, like, whenever I would say that I was from America, no one would believe me, and they would try to convince me that I was from India, even though I kept telling them I was from America. And there wasn't like one instance that happened. There was like several instances. It would happen really frequently. So that was kind of amazing. And during my time in Tajikistan, I noticed that there were some ways that I could get the most out of my experience. When I was at home, I would try to talk to my host family as much as possible, especially after I finished doing my homework, because if you're just in your room all day, you're not really going to get the most out of your experience. Like, you really want to spend your time wisely, because it's really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go to Tajikistan and be able to make the most out of your Nsliy experience. And also, I would recommend, one of your goals should be to do well on the oral exam. And I thought, for me, I felt that having that in my mind as a goal was really important for me, because it really helped me target improving my oral skills, and it really motivated me to talk more with my family and the locals, and especially also with my neighbors near my house. When I traveled to Tajikistan, one thing I regret was not bringing enough hand sanitizer, because as a group we go out to eat a lot, and so it was really beneficial bringing hand sanitizer, because they don't have soap or hand sanitizer everywhere in the country. I also wish that I practiced cursive writing, the cursive script more, because I kind of neglected that before I went to Tajikistan, and it did take me too long to learn it, but it's really helpful if you know it beforehand, because in the classroom, the teachers or muallimas, they like almost 100% they use the cursive script. And during my time in Tajikistan, I didn't really have culture shock, because it was for a short period of time. But people are different, and it might take you longer to adjust to the country. But one thing, like when I was sick, and you probably will get sick because everyone in our group at least got sick once. I was a little homesick, and even though my hosts, they were really caring, they would ask me how I was doing, but it's not the same as your mom being there for you. And so one way that I was able to counter my homesickness, I just called my mom once in a while when I was sick, and it made me feel a lot better, just like being able to hear her voice. But I would also recommend not calling your family too often, because you want to be in the moment and make the most out of your experience as much as possible. And in Tajikistan, we also had two muallimas, or two teachers, for our class, in our classroom, and they had two, and we would switch off every day. And they had two different teaching styles. One was muallima musadas, and the other was muallima masjuda. And muallima musadas was more laid back, whereas muallima masjuda was more strict. And it was a really good balance, because I would be scared to death when I go to masjuda, but I was really laid back and I could relax when I go to musadas. And so I would recommend preparing for both classes, but I would also recommend like spending a little more time on the harder material and trying to do really well on that. And I felt that like that way that I wasn't as scared when I went to masjuda as I was at the beginning of the program. I would also suggest spending at least 2 to 4 hours a day on your homework, because it really like just being able to like reflect on the vocabulary and the words every day, it's really helpful. I would also recommend bringing note cards, because you really need flashcards. Like, you don't need it, but like it's a really helpful it's an asset in order to maximize your learning experience there, because they don't really have note cards. They just have what I did was I folded a paper hot dog style, and then I cut the front and like put the word in the front, and it would be like a flap. So because I didn't bring note cards, but bring note cards, they're really helpful. Also, with homework, I wouldn't only ask one member of my family. I would ask my mom, my aunt, and my grandma. I would like switch back and forth. I would ask them questions about my homework and ask them to check my work. And I feel like by asking different members of your family, you can get different perspectives of like what you're learning. Because I noticed that like sometimes I noticed like my grandma's grammar would be a little different from grammar and vocabulary would be a little different from my mom's, and so it just like really helps you see like I don't know, just like the differences in the culture and language a little bit through like the generations. Also, if you have any like younger siblings, ask them, because you know they're really helpful because they're learning, they're about the same level as you, and like they also really want to help you too, help you succeed. So their younger siblings are awesome. And when you travel with your Nsliy group, it's really tempting to speak English with your friends, because my friends would, but one way you can maximize, and you can also like really improve your oral speaking is like talking Tajiki with your friends, the Nsliy group, and that's like one way to do better on the oral exam at the end of the program. My friends and we would usually test each other on like words and practice. When we would walk, we would practice our vocabulary by pointing at objects on the street and saying the Tajiki word for it. And one other piece of advice that I would recommend is to talk to the locals as much as possible. For girls, like maybe like not to talk to men, just because it might be a little uncomfortable, but just in general, maybe like try for girls, just like try to talk to women. And in your family, if there's someone who is 18 years or older who can take you out, because that's like one of the requirements. I don't know if it's the same with your cohort, but we always had to travel with someone who's 18 years or older. For my family, my aunt would take me, the kids and the neighbors out up to this place called the Opera Ballet in Tajikistan, and it was really beautiful. At night they would put the fountains on, and they would put lights on the fountains, and sometimes there would be free concerts, and so that was pretty fun, and it was also a great way to practice because the neighbors would like speak to me in Tajiki because they didn't know English at all, and yeah. But obviously have fun. Because it's a really amazing experience, and remember just to be in the moment always. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I provide my email to Anna, and just ask her. Thank you.